give me a reaction. All people require a reaction from those around them. You enter a store, you need a reaction from the shopkeeper that you've got their attention and that they will attend to you when you want to buy your sherbet lemons, for instance, or that you want to try on a pair of particular shoes. You require the attention of your audience when you're delivering something to them. You don't want them staring at their phones or talking to one another. You want them to give you a reaction, which is their attention. Many people crave that reaction because they're quite simply bored. It's a form of coping mechanism that they're utilizing. It is that they want to feel a reward. For instance, a child wants the reaction of their parent to praise them when they've done something good. In some instances, throwing a tantrum so that their mother or father will turn towards them. Human beings require reactions for a multiplicity of reasons. Sometimes it's because you need somebody's help, whether it is being served in the shop, as I've mentioned, or that you're ill and you require somebody to care for you, or you're injured and you require someone to administer first aid to you, or that you're lost and you require someone to instruct you as to the right location to go to. A reaction is required from many human beings, but from our kind, a reaction signals to us that you are under control, and your reaction provides us with fuel, that life-giving essence that flows from the very things that you say and the very things that you do. But what about me? What about me, H.G. Tudor, the narcissistic psychopath? Why do I need a reaction? Am I so base and low that I just need to get a rise out of someone to make me feel better about myself? No. I have an excellent conceit of who I am, successful, powerful, able to achieve. I don't need to get a rise out of someone just to make myself feel better about myself. Do I need a reaction from someone to know that they care about me? In part, because their caring is of course fuel, and it shows that they're under control. And therefore a reaction is part of that. But for me, as a hybrid of narcissist and psychopath, I want you to react to me because it entertains me. I want you to give me a reaction to show that I have that control over you. I, of course, require the fuel, but also for me there is that residual benefit of alleviating the boredom. I become bored very quickly. What was once interesting soon becomes stale. What once intrigued me, I have soon worked out, and I want to the next thing. People bore me very quickly. The chitter-chatter of thy minutiae, talking about what they're going to have for dinner, like who cares about that? I remember a long time ago when I was involved in undertaking an internment of sorts. And at the particular place where I was, I would have to go into a room where there were several secretarial staff. And each day, at the same time, they would engage in a conversation of, what are you going to eat tonight? It felt like listening to those nails being dragged down a chalkboard, listening to somebody saying that same thing each and every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What are you going to eat tonight? Who cares? Dull. Uninteresting, but to them in their humdrum lives it was a way of making the time go a little bit faster as that clock on the wall inched its way just beyond 3 p.m. It was always around that time each day, and particularly when I had cause to go in there, that I would be subjected to either the beginning or part way through their discussion about what particular meat they were going to be eating, what their husbands would want, how they were going to deal with the potatoes. I felt my disgust for this conversation rising. In part, I recognise that it was because it was their conversation that didn't involve me, although they would often ask me, HG, what are you going to have for dinner tonight? So often I was tempted to remark a person, telling them part of who I was, how having an individual equated to a form of sustenance for me, to enable me to gorge upon them, to drink of the fuel, but moreover to use them as a plaything, to alleviate that boredom. Of course, uninterested by their queries, I would often just deflect them from saying, I haven't decided yet, and move on to a matter that was more pressing in hand and ask them, have they completed X or Y? In some instances, I would regale them with convoluted tales of something that I was going to make. It was a complete lie, but it amused them, and it entertained me, as I would tell them about the 3-course meal that I was going to create, even at that young age, holding myself out as an accomplished chef. All I had done was, of course, purloin the details from some kind of cookery book, easy enough to find around our house, and relay the information to memory, and then parrot it back to these secretaries, so that they were left reacting to my response of, ooh, gosh, isn't that fancy, etc. Inside, I despised their pathetic responses, seeing how easy it was to puppet them. I wanted more. I wanted them to react in a greater way. I didn't just want their oohs and their ahs. I wanted their horror, their fear. I wanted an instance for them to despise the words I was using. Yet part of me recognized that that might not be advantageous in ensuring that they continue to provide me with the work that was necessary. And instead, I settled upon ensuring that there was a reaction. Whilst I had known from being a child that people fearing me was a reaction that I always wanted, it was also necessary to generate their interest, to cause them to admire me, to receive that kind of interaction. But a reaction was what I always wanted, something to make the boredom recede. And that is why I have played with so many people and things, to alleviate that boredom, to get that reaction, to draw tears, a scream, a yelp, a whimper, a horrified reaction, pleading, begging, laughter, praise, orgasmic delight, whatever it might be, but I want that reaction from you. It demonstrates that I matter, and I must matter. It demonstrates that I have invaded your consciousness, that I control you, that you are responding and reacting to me, that I am the controller. The times that I have sat there, urging someone to react, give it to me, give it to me. The thought goes through my head, give me that reaction. I need to see it, almost whispering it out loud when I've been sat across a boardroom table from a particular individual. In other scenarios out in the field, as I held somebody in my grasp, I looked into their eyes. They thought they were looking at a steely-eyed dealer of death, but instead they were just looking into the abyss, into the emptiness, as I drank in their fear, as I consumed their reaction. That is what I required. Feed me your reaction. Feed me your fear. Give me your guilt. Furnish me with your admiration. Whatever it might be, but I want that reaction. I must have it. Whether I bring it out of you by the application of physical force, or the harsh whispered words that bring tears to spring from your eyes, it matters not. But I must have your reaction, for without it, this world becomes the boring place that I know it to be all too well, and it is your reactions that keep me fed and keep me entertained.